got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this and born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, wish out you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness. I just kill cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building.
Little Kendrick to bring us in. Welcome in, welcome in. Of course, it's Thursday night. I hope that you are relaxed, maybe with a beverage, a libation, if you choose. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Of course, this is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. I am your host, Jill Munroe. And on a Thursday, what are we doing? We are celebrating because it is Victory Thursday. Usually it's Victory Monday, but it is Victory Thursday. You know why? I mean, we're the Lakers, so we don't technically celebrate such small little events that happen, but the Lakers are going to the first in-season championship weekend. And we got to give it up to them and shout out to them because, you know, LeBron James, thank you, Andy, is in year 21 doing amazing things. Just so you know, the Lakers have confirmed that should they win the in-season tournament, they will not be posting a banner inside Staples Center because Lakers only post championships. Not everybody can say that. Some people have to post, you know, division titles. Some people have to post conference titles. The Lakers only post what? Championship titles. And that's okay. You know, one day we'll get there. So let me give you a little bit of a rundown on what we're going to be getting into tonight. Because as the station said, let me slow down. As the station says, we have a lot to talk about. So first up in hour one, there is an NFL player that was allegedly ducking and dodging his responsibility as far as a child. So the baby's mom got creative on social media with the way of letting him know, I suppose again, and the public know that he might not be taking care of his fatherly duties. So we're going to talk about that and see what your thoughts are as far as utilizing a onesie in public embarrassment to shame the father of your child. We're going to get into that. In hour two, Stephen A. Smith. You know, we talk a lot about Stephen A. and his opinions on certain things. He has a lot of opinions on relationships and how they should go. And he's a single man of a certain age, so never been married. So, of course, that might skew his viewpoint, I'm sure. At least some people might think so. Stephen A. says that you need to go for a strong 7 as far as a woman because they're going to make you happier than a 10. And we're going to get into his reasons why. Spoiler alert, what he's saying has a lot of validity to it, but I feel as though it's also low vibrational to approach your relationships as such. I don't know. We're going to get into that. And in hour 3, you know, in a recent interview with Rakim, old school rapper Rakim, Ed Lover gave Rakim his flowers and said that Rakim, when he dropped in, what was that, 86, 87, that he changed the direction of hip hop. So we're going to get into Ed's reasons why and take a look and see if, you know, we agree with that. And of course, later on in the third hour, we have interviews from the new Prime Video film, Candy Cane Lane. We have DC Young Fly, Robin Thede, Chris Redd, and Jillian Bell. And in hour one, we have an in-studio guest that I'm excited for you to meet. Emerging hip-hop artist with an interesting background. We're going to get into all of that with Ace Rose on the other side. But before we do that, you know, I have a couple of conversation starters. These are things that I want to let you know about, but we kind of don't have time to get into tonight. Oh, before I do that, listen, hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580 if you're not already doing that. I'm at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Download the app. You can take us with you on the go. Listen at your convenience. you might want to listen to us in the middle of the night and listen to me specifically or somebody else on the station. You can do that at your leisure. And if at any point tonight you want to weigh in on any of the topics we're discussing, hit us up 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So to these conversation starters, I just mentioned LeBron, right? And listen, we know that LeBron wants to own an NBA team, not just an NBA team, he wants to own an NBA team in Vegas. And he talked about it last year. Well, listen, he has a partnership with Fenway Sports Group, and they are a part of Redbird Capital Partners. And they have said that, they are in and supporting LeBron in his venture to bring an NBA franchise to Las Vegas, should it be awarded. They are excited about the prospects in Vegas. We've talked about on this show that Las Vegas is going to be, or already is pretty much, the live entertainment capital of the U.S., maybe of the world. You think about the residency performances that are there. We have a WNBA team that is championship, that has, might be forming a dynasty. Same thing with the Golden Knights of the NHL. The Raiders are there doing something, but we have hope. UNLV's there. So we have the Oakland A's coming. It's a lot happening. The Sphere, a whole bunch of things are taking place there. So live performances, sports, all of that. Vegas is the place to be. And sports betting is on the uptick, so there's a lot of money to be made there. It's obviously a smart factor. One of the things that may hold them back, though, is that just 3 years ago, the price for an NBA franchise was around $3 billion. Today, for an expansion team, it's estimated to be about $5.5 to $6 billion. May not seem like a great deal more of money, but listen, when you break down how much money is in $1 billion, 3 more of them, it's a lot, but expect it to happen at some point soon. We also want to send condolences to the family of Forrest Whitaker. His ex-wife, Keisha, passed away at 51. They were married for almost 25 years before their divorce became finalized in 2021. Forrest filed in 2018. They share 3 daughters, Autumn is Keisha's solely, but Forrest raised her, Sonnet and True. And we just want to send love and light to their family. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. We are going to meet our guest for the evening, Ace Rose. And we're going to talk about that NFL situation because, I don't know, your kid has to live with that. We'll get into all of that on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate you. Thank you for turning us on this year. Happy holidays.
Wow! Mommy's kissing Santa Claus!
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, listen, I'm going to share something with you, and then I'm going to ask my guests tonight what they think about this. So, you know Adele, obviously one of the great singers of this current era, sails on fleek. People don't say on fleek anymore, do they? Okay. So I'm just saying it just because. But you get what the point. She sails out of this world. Another one that had Vegas waiting for her and waiting again. And then she performed and everything was okay. So in a recent interview, she shared that she doesn't believe that she's the best singer in the world at all, but she believes that no one can sing her songs like her because they didn't write them. She said, no one can sing songs like me, period. They can't sing. The lyrics are not their own, and I don't think anyone else should sing my songs. I don't mind it when they do, but I'm just saying they're never going to be able to emote in the same way that I can. I can't sing other people's songs. I didn't write the lyrics, and I can't sing them as well. So I thought this was an interesting perspective because on one hand, you absolutely understand the idea that if she is writing these words from her heart, from her experiences, it hits a little bit different, right? But at the same time, isn't that the point at times of creating beauty as an artist and releasing it to the world for others to take it in and experience it in whatever way that they have? And I think that that is a perfect segue to my guest for tonight. So we have Ace Rose joining us. Welcome. You are VIP now, behind the velvet ropes. He's a UK-born, LA-raised rapper. He's emerging. He has a new single that dropped December 1st, Go For Broke, that we're going to get into. But the reason why I thought that, this would be a good topic to discuss with Ace is because you mentioned that you put a lot of yourself into your songs. They reflect some of the struggles that you've gone through, some of the situations that you've thought about. And I know it's a little different in hip hop. We don't see a lot of remakes in the same way that we do with, traditional songs, but we do see people sampling or taking parts of it and, interlopes and things of that nature. So what are your thoughts on, what Adele's comments, and then do you feel a type of way, or have you thought about that if you got to the point someone else, took a piece of your song and wanted to reuse it, how that would make you feel?
First of all, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Really it's great to meet you, Jill. How do I feel about that? I understand where she's coming from as a songwriter, which sounds really pretentious to say, but as a songwriter, I can understand that. Obviously, I don't have a voice anywhere close to Adele, but I can understand that it is her life and her lyrics. But I also do think, even if you write all these songs for yourself, which I think most songwriters just kind of write for themselves, you are giving it. At that point, it's not your song anymore. The song was when you were creating it. The song was when you were recording it, when you thought about it. But the second it's out, it's everybody else's song. Now, like, I mean, I feel like if Beyonce sung her songs, they'd be sound freaking amazing anyway, right? So I think personally, I understand where she's coming from because he is that amazing of a singer. But I mean, I don't know. I think honestly, a lot of people can sing the music because I think what he talks about is also very relatable to people. It's mostly about relationships and who doesn't go through these like same, situations anyway. So that's how I personally think about it. I get it, but I also think it's everybody else's.
It's everybody else's. Okay,
100%.
So, and another reason why, see, I'm going someplace with this. I'm leading us to the thing, but it's good because you're following me, and we're
100%.
well.
I'm here.
So, you are UK born, right? But were raised here in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in Europe, and I was raised here in LA. Yeah,
Okay.
Which is why I don't have a European accent.
You're LA. That's right.
Yeah.
LA natives in the building, some of us. So we might adopt you. We'll have to see how you go through the test.
Fair.
But no, how did you get involved with hip hop? Because that is an art form or something that sometimes people attempt to gatekeep or have feelings on, outsiders stepping in. I know that it's for you, it's something that you said that you've been passionate about since high school. So what was it like for you? What drew you to hip hop as opposed to maybe other art forms of music?
Yeah.
And, how did you ground yourself into it? Being that I'm sure you've heard the conversations or questions asked,
100%.
like, what are you doing in this? So,
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So being born in Europe is like, we didn't really get like music that was like at that time. Everything came really late. So I like first time I even like heard Outkast was like on TV. And there was obviously rock music. My parents were really into like Prince and Motown and Michael and like Billie Holiday and like everything. But like hip hop wasn't really introduced to me until a bit later in my life. And then I've traveled, so I almost like an army brat from my mom's work, as I've traveled so much, everything from Europe to America to England to everywhere. And every single school I went, it was just kind of like whatever friend group I had, they were kind of introducing me more and more to it. And I was just a fan of it, like nothing other than just being a fan of it. And personally, I didn't think I was ever going to be a hip hop artist. Did I love rapping with my friends? Did I love like doing ciphers and battle raps at lunch school tables and all that? 100%. But for me, like, I was just a fan, and things I was going through my life, I had like a lot of like bullying that happened to me. There was some homelessness there, like a lot of things I was going through. I was just writing on the side in a little notebook, like every rapper, some real 8 Mile stuff, just rapping and it wasn't really until I was coming to terms with these things I was going through that I was looking for an outlet. I was looking for like a therapy. And of course, not just rapping with your friends and stuff, but I was like finding beats on YouTube. I was recording to them, and it felt like the most freeing thing I've ever done and will ever do. That moment of being like, wow. And the first like songs, the first raps were brutal. I played them for like my mom, and she was crying because she'd never heard her son talk like this. And so I really just fell in love with it, and I started perfecting the craft to the point where people liked it. And it was really the people around me that wanted me to like continue working at it, because I never looked at myself as a hip hop artist. I just looked at myself as a fan. But it kind of got to a point where it just felt right. And obviously you come in with as much respect and authenticity, and you're just obviously suit like a guest. You put your shoes at the door. But I do think that I have an interesting story that I think I can share, and as long as everybody else seems to be okay with it, then I'll continue to do so.
So what is it about being that, you said you moved around a lot, kind of, from place to place because of your mom's work.
Yeah.
What do you think that does to enhance who you are as an artist?
I think it was kind of detrimental to me in the sense of trying to make friends. I always felt like a real loner, a real outsider. I mean, there was one point where I stayed in school for 2 months and I was already gone. Like, there was no real way of even getting to know who you are, because you're trying to constantly impress people, because you're trying to make friends for that moment. And in terms of like how it helped me music wise, I had friends who were like really into Led Zeppelin, and I had friends who introduced me to Carter 2, and I had friends who like introduced me to everything from like Guns N' Roses and Pink Floyd, and I have friends who like love like Jeezy or something, and Ludacris and like Wayne and like everybody. So it helped me in just finding all these different influences, but it also made it a bit difficult for me to hone down what I wanted to do. Because at first I was like, I'm just gonna rap. I'm a huge Nas fan. I just want to rap. I love like lyrics. I love technical. I was like, I'm just gonna rap. But then I started like singing more, and obviously like, and then my friends and my family liked me singing. Then the rock side kind of came with. But I'm just, yeah, it's kind of influenced by everything.
So who musically, who are some of your influences?
Well, like the first time I heard Wayne, which was on Blue Streak. Remember that movie, Martin Lawrence? It was on the soundtrack. My dad bought me that soundtrack, and it was like a Hot Boy remix or something from like Bling Bling. At first time I heard a voice that was like that expressive, and so it was like for me growing up, Wayne, I like the dedication, you know what I mean, the drought, you know, all that. I was super fan. I was super like Ludacris fan as well. So a lot of like Southern hip hop for some reason, and like obviously Outkast, but when I heard Nas for the first time, I think it was I Gave You Power from It Was Written, and it blew my mind. I was like, this man is just a complete storyteller to the level of like cinematic, just a movie. So I put them, those are like my top. And then when it comes to like rock music, which obviously like I'm still a huge rock fan at the same time, I've like Pink Floyd, Radiohead, Guns N' Roses, things like that. But if we're like, that's not obviously the top 5 like rapper conversation. We can have
But
that
I mean,
as
here's
well
the
if you
thing,
want.
but I think so. Ride with me for a second. I compare the early like 70s through the 80s rock movement to a lot of what happened in hip hop. Parallel kind of their popularity, how they took over, how they were kind of the rebel genres, especially of the youth. Some of the issues that happened as far as the women that were involved with the men in it, and you know, the look back years later and the examinations of it. So I don't think it's that off course. And then you think about some of the mashups like Jay-Z and Linkin Park, you think about the first one, Run DMC and Aerosmith. I think that there are definitely some parallels of the two.
Sure,
you know,
of course, 100%.
even if we're just talking about the superficial rock star lifestyle that you know is equivalent to the hip hop life. So I don't think that it's off course. So you mentioned a lot of storytelling because you think of Outkast. Obviously, they're a group that leans into storytelling. Wayne is bars, but he has some songs where I guess you know you get the
He's
cinematic
got some.
thing
He's got
that
some.
is storytelling thing.
Yeah.
And then Nas, obviously. So what do you feel like is in the pocket for you? Where do you lean towards? Are you still on that technical side, or do you feel like you're painting pictures and you can bring in your vocals to do that in a different manner?
It really depends on the day.
It depends on the day.
Depends on the moment. Depends on everything. I have songs where I'm like, I want to be the best. I'm gonna put my flag at the mountain. I want to like, I'm just gonna bar up as much as I can. And then I have songs that I think like I'll release a little bit later because maybe I gave something from my life that I don't want to talk about from day one. Something that, you know, because these things are like, you know, you control these things. You control like these moments in your life, these traumatic moments or whatever they may be. And the second you let them go, it's like you've unlocked it. And sometimes you kind of want that back. So I have a lot of songs where I'm talking about things in my life I wrote like on this exclusive. There will be a project next year. On one song, like I've got something some family members probably shouldn't listen to.
Understand.
And then there's gonna be a song where it's like, again, I just wanted that bravado, that macho, that like look, you know how technical my pen is. So it really depends on the day. And then there's songs where I'll probably be singing more, and then there's songs where I'm like, I'm just gonna do a 32 bar. Yeah.
So what was your family's reaction when you decided to step into hip hop? Were they, I mean, you mentioned that they had a love of like Motown and some of those old school acts, you know, Billie Holiday mixed in. So very eclectic taste across the board. did they feel a type of way about you entering into that space?
Well, again, the first time they heard my music, it was like, I did not know about these things about my son. I did not know he was going through this. I didn't know he went through any of this type of stuff. So it was more just eye-opening to them. But it was the first time my mom heard me sing like a chorus that she was like, okay, I like this. This is something. Obviously, like, I'm so blessed to have like the most incredible supportive parents, and just to they've heard some terrible music. So I would have, as a parent, I would 100% been like, all right, bro, it's time
to wrap it up.
It's time to wrap it up. But I think it was when people around them started to think there was some potential there. There was something there, just like a little like rough diamond or anything. And they were just very supportive. I'm sure there was moments where they thought it's not gonna happen for him. But they're a fan. They're a fan. Yeah. They try to not think about any curse words or anything like that.
What does it do for you? What does LA do being here, as far as what does that add to your music?
I feel home. Like that's what it is. Like I grew up here, did all like, obviously I went back and forth and stuff like that, and now like I live in London a bit and I come back and forth because I have a girlfriend out there in London. And but like being here, like I feel home. Like there's nothing. I've written probably 10 songs since I've been here for the last month and a half, and there's such a happiness when I'm here. And like I don't know if you feel this, but like when you're a place that is your home, which I also like here, but it's like your soul is just
at peace.
At peace.
I feel that.
Balanced.
Well, when we come forward, we're gonna hear a little bit of Ace's song. We're also, gonna find out what he's up to and where we can catch up with him on social media, all of that. And of course, more trending topics and headlines. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your hormones probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that sucker shit inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitch, heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist, born on side a jellyfish, I gauge. See my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the front. Shit I been through probably offend you, this is Paula's oldest son. I know murder, conviction, burners, boosters, burglars, ballers, dead, redemption, scholars, fathers dead, with kids and I wish I was fed. Forgiveness, yeah. Soldier's DNA, born inside the beast. My expertise checked out in 2nd grade. When I was 9, on sale motel, we didn't have nowhere to stay. At 29, I've done so well, hit cartwheel in my estate. And I'm gon' shine like I'm supposed to, antisocial extrovert. And excellent meaning extrovert. And absentness, what the f*** you hurt. And passiveness never struck my nerve. And that's a riff gonna be this case. The reason my power's here on earth. Salute the truth and the prophecy. I got loyalty, got royalty inside
this is
my
why
DNA.
I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in recent years.
I never got my DNA. This is my heritage, all I'm inheriting. Money and power, the Mecca emeritus. Tell me something, you motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. I'd rather die than to listen to you. My DNA not for imitation, your DNA an abomination.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New Yorkers are reacting to a poll that gives Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams some pretty low numbers. According to the Quinnipiac poll, only 28% of voters approve of the job Adams is doing, down from 37% in February. That's the lowest approval rating for a New York City mayor since Quinnipiac started polling voters in 1996. As the FBI investigates the mayor's 2021 campaign, 22% of voters think he did something illegal, while another 30% believe he did something unethical. Former President Trump's New York fraud trial is moving along. An accountant is testifying in Trump's defense. The former president is also expected to testify on Monday as the last witness in the defense case. The Office of Black New York Attorney General Letitia James is suing the Trumps and the Trump Organization for allegedly inflating financial statements by billions of dollars. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Sponsored by Boost Infinite.
It's the gift-giving season, and we have a gift for you. Visit us online at kbla.store for holiday savings of 20% off all of our KBLA swag. For the best in merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store right now. And be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all our official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580, at 20% off, but only during the holiday season. Happy holidays.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, music, and more. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions because we've got your black. Listen up. If you're one of the more than 100,000 California tenants who were rejected or delayed when applying for COVID rental assistance, you've got a second chance. Under the terms of a new settlement, California's Housing and Community Development Department agreed to audit its past denials. The program ended in March 2022, but the advocacy groups Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, Policy Link, and Strategic Actions for a Just Economy sued the department. According to the coalition's analysis of state data, the department rejected nearly 30% of all applicants. Under the settlement, the department agreed to clear all renters in the pipeline within 6 months. The settlement applies to anyone who sought assistance from the state's Housing is Key program before April 1st, 2022, whose applications is pending or was denied after June 6, 2022. Tenants who have questions about the status of their application can call the hotline at 833-430-2122. That's 833-430-2122. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose America.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Motorsport, put that thing in sports. Shout it bad, pop it like a court. You a dork, never been a sport. Pull up, jumping out the court. Cotton candy, my cup tastes like the fair. Cotton, straight up there, where we didn't take the stairs. Where face my fears, gave my mama tears. Mama, shifting gears, on the knock get serious. Face all your fears,
Who has better ad libs than Migos, Andy, or whoever? Who? Jeezy? You think Jeezy's the ad lib queen? I mean, not queen. Sorry, no disrespect. Just slipped. King.
You got to give it to Jeezy. You know, Jeezy kind of, I know ad libs already been popping in the game or whatnot, but Jeezy, like, he took it to the next level. That,
yeah.
That's right.
He did have some good ones. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, who started that early? Or was it just rah, like back in the day, that kind of hip hop? And they added it in, and then eventually we got a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it to Jeezy for sure, because then after that, Rick Ross came through with the huh.
True.
And I know Jim Jones came up with a couple stuff or whatnot. Migos, you know, mama. They got a couple ad libs.
You got Travis with It's Lit.
Yeah.
True.
Let's
Talk to the mic. Talk to the mic, Ace.
Yeah.
So who's your ad lib? Who's on your list for that? Don't know. You mentioned Travis.
I think today, because I think like Migos and like Travis are pretty close to each other. Both kind of like that auto-tune spaced out, like Mike Dean ad lib. Wait, was Jeezy the one who was doing like the ad libs on, what was it? It was on that Kanye song, right?
Put on.
Put on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Put on for my city, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Well, you're back in. Listen, I just went into it because the music moved us. You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Of course, I'm your host, Jill Munroe. And I have a guest with me, Ace Rose. He is an emerging artist here. And, you know, in a minute, we're going to get a taste of his new single, which dropped December 1st. And, you know, it's going to give us a bit of a preview of what to expect next year, low key, because that's what we do here, secret squirrel stuff. But we were talking before we came back on air about you being sort of a purist, and that having a pen is for you is really important to you as an artist. For you. We're talking about for you. Yeah.
Just for me.
Just for you. So what is it about that you delivering, you know, your own words? Because obviously you dabble a bit in, you know, other forms of music where, as we've discussed, it's okay for someone else to write for you. And you deliver that, and that performance be considered iconic or beautiful with the same amount of power as where in hip-hop, we're, at least early on, we're all about the magic of the pen. So for you, what is it about the pen that makes it supreme for you? We're stressing for you.
Well, the pen is you. Like, that's literally your voice. You know, I think, like, when, again, I'm going to sound like such a prick, but, like, I understand, like, the purest thing. But, again, just for me, I'm not looking at anybody else. But, like, I don't really write in the studio. I've done before, you know, you with your bunch, you know, other artists or whatever, and you're just trying to, like, come up with cool songs, come up with cool concepts, all that stuff. But I'm in a corner writing my own verse. I'm not letting anybody write my own verse.
So when you're writing, do you always have to have a track first, or do you pull melodies together in your head? Like, how does your writing process go?
It's been very rare that I've been able to come up with melodies. I'll write verses on my phone, just, you know, things I'm like, oh, that's a clever line or something. When it comes to melodies, those things have only been like a couple times. There was one, like, my grandmother passed away, that I wrote a song, nothing, just whatever was in my head, and I think that was like a very freeing experience, and like obviously mourning, but like otherwise it's just kind of the music, like whatever the music says, that I'll talk back.
Do you have any formal music training, or is it just, you know, you picked up and vibed and as you've gone along?
I've done the 10,000 hours of me like in the dungeon trying to figure it out. I did like a little bit of school choir. I try to do a couple singing lessons. I want to go more into it, but it's pretty raw, to be honest with you. Yeah.
It's just raw. It's just your feeling. A lot of great artists are. So you said that, you know, secret squirrel, no real details, but we're going to have a project potentially dropping sometime next year. What has been the experience kind of working up to this point to really put together and package your first project?
Well, the pandemic made me write like 4 projects, and I'm still making songs. And I actually had another project, but I was listening to it, and I was like, these songs need to come out a bit later when there'll be more people to be able to listen to these stories of mine. And I was thinking of like my first project, I was like, I just got to come with like the voice, you know what I mean? I have to come with the reason I'm here, what I'm saying, obviously as much heat as I can bring, and just, yeah, make sure I make a statement. That's kind of, and then regarding like Go For Broke is just, I was thinking of like, what should be the first song? And I had another song that I'll be dropping probably, end of January, exclusive. But like Go For Broke, I wrote it. I wrote it just for me, and I felt like there was something in there that people could grab onto. And I think at these times, these things are kind of rare, and it's really just a song about if you have a dream, just go for it.
Okay, so we're gonna play that in a second, but who are you listening to right now?
Good question. I love Kendrick.
Okay.
I love things like Radiohead. I think I looked at like the Spotify Warp thing. It was it was Kendrick. It was The Weeknd. I'm a huge Weeknd fan.
Okay.
Can't sing any of the songs. Don't have the vocal range
Neither
of
can
Abel.
he. No, I'm just playing. It's a joke. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I am kidding. Listen, The Weeknd has some of my very favorite
views
songs.
Of Jill.
I am completely joking. Listen, what was the first song I heard of The Weeknd? I feel like it was on the Drake album. Was it Crew Love?
It's Crew Love.
That was the first time I believe
drums.
I heard The Weeknd. And House of Balloons, hands down, is like a classic,
100%.
So I'm totally joking when I say that. I like The Weeknd, so
Yeah, and then some Drake. I listened to. I actually have this. Me and my dad started listening to because it was like one of the first moments where, he's a white father from Europe. You know what I mean? How much hip hop does he know? Is not that much, but I made him love "Life Is Good" from Nas. It was the first time me and him, as like a father and son, like sat together and listened to like an album, and then it was like the first like hip hop album for him. But he loves Life Is Good. So I've been revisiting that.
It's interesting because you think about Nas's dad was a jazz artist, and you mentioned that your parents, liked bits of jazz and, some of those classic Motown acts and things like that. So it's kind of fitting that you would play a Nas album for who embodies something that you love, storytelling, pure technical skill, and has a bit of the things that your father would appreciate. So well done.
He loves the production. Oh my God.
Well done.
Loves it.
Picked up on that. Okay, so you have to tell everyone where they can find you, where they can find your music, check it all out before the exclusive drop that we got the scoop on. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Ace Rose Official on Instagram, Ace Rose on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, SoundCloud, just Ace Rose.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm the only one in the world apparently that has this name. I was really stoked about getting this name.
I like that. And you mentioned Guns N' Roses, so kind of close to Axl,
Yeah, it's true. But I'm sending the shots right now. I can sing better than Axl today.
I heard that. That's right. Put that down. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for joining us here on RSVP.
Of course.
We're going to hear a little bit of Go For Broke as we go to break. And when you're ready for the official announcement and further projects, you got to come back and join us here.
Hell yeah. Of course I will. Thank you so much for having me, Jill. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming by. All right. We ready? Yes.
go for broke. Make no sense if I'm a croak. With no path felt like a joke. Been fly all around the globe. Cause I put up so many mailboxes, not a place to post. So I'ma keep 100 like a bills, I'm trying to see the notes. I ain't trying to flow till my light is dead. My old was all up in my pantry trying to get my bread. Now, this my dough, make your own. All you working for is your need game while I'm on the castle low. Sorry, but you got left in the wind. When I'm grinding just to make a meal, my energy will not stop till the blade don't spin. So bring the beef, I'ma season like Sabe, cause ain't grain of salt that I won't win. Yeah, I'ma go for broke. All your dreamers know they gon' keep you warm when the nights are cold. I spent many days without no home. Out of my suitcases where I'ma stay in the cave, cause I'm trying to make escape with the work that I gave. I dig my own grave. I ain't trying to be safe. Take your hand out the way. So I'ma go for broke till I finally get paid. Yeah. Back to the lab, back to the pad, back to the jab. Hope just whoop, yeah. So you don't wanna clash like a titan, feel the rap. It's all I have, ready to tag, plotting in the bag, protect my bags. I won't keep it low key. When the Bifrost pass, now money can't make you a man, but can fuel your plans. Passion in your hands, now go for what your heart can man. Y'all just want that buying automatic, yeah, money. I want that stripes and clone your dog, I'm by the street money. That type of upstream, see me at the dock money. Caviar penthouse too rich to give a money. Flashbacks to my crack back from the floors I slept at. My bag was a welcome mat. What's in store? My past got jacked when I couldn't afford on the rack. Had those hand-me-down cargos with the zippers attached. Cause I was 5'2", even Nash shorts they fucking drag. Hate the fact I thank the kid in school for the clothes on my back. That's why I'ma go for broke. All your dreamers know they gon' keep you warm when the nights are cold. I spent many days without no home. Out of my suitcase is where I'ma stay in the cave, cause I'm trying to make escape with the work that I gave. I dig my own grave. I ain't trying to be safe. Take your hand out the way. So I'ma go for broke till I finally get paid. Yeah, I've been working on this dream so long, and the shadows always on my own. Had to sacrifice everyone I know, so they throw roses in my show. I've been working on this dream so long, and the shadows always on my own. Had to sacrifice everyone I know, so they throw roses in my show.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you a Christmas season that is merry and bright. Happy holidays.
Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA Can believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, I don't know why NFL players, professional athletes, men who consider themselves high value, I don't know, however you want to phrase that, do not take better care of their swimmers. I don't, especially when you recognize that you might not want to partake in those responsibilities. I don't understand why we continue to have these conversations. But the young ladies are continuing to be creative in going after that child support. So there's an NFL player. His name is Xavien Howard, right? He's worth about $19 million, because I know you want to know that. And he is the one, I believe they were talking about him a couple months ago, where he allegedly had multiple women pregnant at the same time. Well, at least one of those is probably true, because the mother of one of the young children, a young girl, has gotten some custom-made onesies made for her daughter and posted the photos to social media. And the onesies have like her father's photograph while he's in uniform, and one of them says, Xavien Howard is my NFL deadbeat dad, with his photo. He tells people I'm not his child, but the DNA proved that was a lie. And then the complete DNA test is on the back of the onesie, including the company that tested them, the lab, the mother's full name and her date of birth, his full name, the probability that the child is his, that he is the father. And then there's another one that she has where she has placed him behind bars and it says wanted for child support. And there's a Miami Dolphins logo and an NFL logo and a little baby. And my thing is this. How do you think your daughter is going to feel when she's 10, 12 years old and somebody pulls up pictures of her on the internet with her dad's face saying he's a deadbeat dad? I mean, the internet is forever. This isn't just like you're doing something amongst your friends. And I understand you're trying to force the issue or force his hand, but that's what lawyers are for, correct? And since you have the legal documentation from a DNA test, is the problem that you can't find him to serve him? And even with that, is embarrassing your daughter going to help get him served? I don't know. I mean, I get it. You want to shame him into paying, but seems like just going the legal route would be much cleaner and better for your child's welfare, because guess what? After this, that is still his child. And I'm assuming that it's more than just his money. You would want him to be an active father in the life. So, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Forensic accountant says he's about to cuss. So I don't know what he's about to say, but he's forewarning us so that we can make sure to bleep it out. But I think that the attention, we talk about it all the time, that what the attention of social media does for some people. But really, why would you want to put your child through that? It seems rather clout chasey. I mean, again, I'm not judging. I understand. I'm not saying that the father should be able to usurp responsibility. I'm not saying that the father should not be financially responsible for his child. He made a choice when he did not protect himself in that moment to say, hey, she might be a good mom for a kid. That's the reality of all of us when we take those chances. But I just feel like you should protect your children, because the internet is forever. And they're going to be teased about something that really is between you and their father, and they're just going to get hurt, and it's never going to go away no matter what they do. They could be looking for a job 20 years from now, and that topic could bubble up. It's just unfair to me. Kendi says, I know you think they're evil geniuses, but some of these guys are very naive. Women will say they're on the pill, and these guys will believe them. And I understand that, women can lie and say, no, I'm protected. But at the same time, my thing is this. It's not even about being an evil genius. If you're worth 19 million, 15 million, and the idea of having to give away some of that money scares you. This is a man who I believe had several siblings that he grew up with, like 8 to 10 or something like that. I just feel as though you would be more responsible because you don't want to part with that money. Not even anything about the woman, but you think about your money. Right? You're always thinking about your money. You don't want to pay for dates. You don't want to trick too much. So why not in that moment are you not thinking about your money? Because you've seen it happen too many times before. I don't know. Forensic accountant says, I'm about to return to my misogyny for a second. Read my mind on this one. All right, well, you can revisit your misogynistic ways on the other side, because coming up, we're going to discuss why Stephen A. Smith says that you should go for a solid 7 as a man when you are seeking out a woman in a relationship. We're also going to get into more trending topics and headlines. We have a little bit on that Russell Simmons conversation and what he feels. DJ Mustard and his wife, they're going through some things. He has some things to say. Keke Palmer and Dominique Perry are supporting each other as the baby mamas of the Jackson brothers. All of that and more. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
From who? That's not a reliable source. So tell me, have you seen her? Let me wrap my weave up. I'm the trap Selena. Dame my gasolina.
Motorsport, put that thing in sports. Shout it bad, pop her like a court. You a dork, never been a sport. Pull up, jumping out the court.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black information.